All right. Your title for today is Solving Multi-Step Equations. So it's what you're going to put at the top of your page. And then I do want you to go ahead and pause and write these 4 steps down. How this works is when you're finished with your notes, we will check and make sure that your notes are filled out before you get your assignment. So I will be looking to see that you have these 4 steps. So go ahead and pause and write those down. Today we're working on multi-step equations. So after 2-step equations, we call anything after that just multi-step. So the first step when you're doing a multi-step is to distribute if necessary. So I'll show you what that looks like when we get to an example. Then you're going to combine like terms. Again, we'll talk about what that means here in a second. And then after that, it's essentially a 2-step. So step 3, you need to isolate your variable by getting rid of the addition or subtraction first, and then getting rid of the multiplication or division. And then remember, anytime we're solving equations at all, whatever we do to one side, we're always doing to the other. So again, one more time, I want you to pause here and write these 4 down. Okay, here's our first example. So we have 8x minus 6x minus 25 equals negative 35. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw the line down. Step 1 is to distribute if necessary. In this one, we don't have any parentheses, so we do not need to distribute. What we do need to do is step 2, which is combine like terms. Like terms are terms that either have the same variable, like 8x, and negative 6x are like terms because they both have x. These regular numbers, constants, are also like terms, but they're on opposite sides, so we're not going to combine them. Here, 8x minus 6x. When I combine that, 8 minus 6 is 2, so this is the same as 2x. And I still have minus 25 equals negative 35. From here, this is a 2-step, and we learned how to solve these last week. So we would add 25 to both sides, which is negative 10, and then divide by 2 is negative 5. Here, again, I'm going to start by drawing my line down, and you should be writing these down with me. Negative 4n minus 8n, those are my like terms because they both have n. They have to have the same letter though, so be careful. These are my like terms. Negative 4n minus 8n is negative 12n. So we've combined our like terms, and now we have a 2-step. So to get rid of my 17, I'll subtract 17 on both sides. Which is 6, and then I'll divide by negative 12. So we get n equals negative 1/2, or as a decimal, negative 5/10. Okay, so make sure you have these written down. Okay, I want you to pause this and try it yourself, and then you can hit play and see if you did it correctly. So here I'm going to combine like terms, my n's, 3n and 2n. So 3 minus 2 is 1n, or just n. And then I have to move the 20 to the other side. So my final answer is negative 10 equals n. All right, some examples with distribution. So go ahead and write this down. Again, we're going to be checking to make sure that you have these written down before you get your assignment, so you should be writing as you go. I'm going to distribute 2, and distribution, if you haven't seen it before, is the same as multiplication. I am taking 2 times 5x. 2 times 5 is 10, so this is 10x. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. And at this point, it's a 2-step again. So I'm going to add 2 to both sides, We get 10x equals 10. And I'm going to divide by 10 on both sides. So you get x equals 1. Okay, another example. This one's going to use all 4 steps. So step 1, remember, that we wrote down is to distribute if necessary. So to get rid of these parentheses, I have to distribute my 3. So I like to draw in these 2 arrows because it reminds me to multiply both things. 3 times 2d is 6d. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. And then I'm rewriting the rest. Now step 2 is to combine like terms. In this case, my like terms are negative 3 and 6 because they both do not have a variable. Negative 3 plus 6 is positive 3. So I'm bringing down my 6d, and now I have a positive 3 equals 15. And now it's a 2-step. So I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. We get 6d equals 12. And then I have to divide by 6. Oops. Then I have to divide by 6 on both sides. We get d equals 2. Last example for today. Again, I would like you to pause and try it, and then you can push play to make sure you did it correctly. Step 1 is to distribute. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times x is 3x. Then I'm writing down the rest. Step 2 is to combine like terms. So 3x plus 5x is 8x. So we have 6 plus 8x equals 14. And now we have a 2-step. I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides because it was positive. The opposite is negative. 14 minus 6 is 8. And then we'll have to divide by 8 on both sides. So our final answer is 1.